Once upon a time, in Feather Town, just beyond the lake, there was Mama and Baby Duck living near some hills. Mama Duck went grocery shopping at the Duck Duck Goose Mall after she had a fight with a baby duck. After shopping, she returns home tired and finds a note addressed to her. She looks around and can't find her baby duck. She then opens the note and reads,
Dear Mama Duck, I'm sorry about the fight this morning and I realized that it was my fault. I decided to leave this nest so you don't have to take care of me anymore. I'm sorry about all the trouble I've caused you. So, because I'm moving out, there's no way I'm going to tell you that I'm somewhere off the hill with an equation of f of x equals 2 sine x squared minus 1. And there's absolutely no way that I'm at a point C between the points 0 and 2 pi x. Love, your baby duck.
Mama Duck began to worry and wanted to find her baby. She left the nest and began to figure out where her baby was. She realized that she could use the mean value theorem that she learned as a calculus major at the University of Ducks. She grabbed a piece of paper and started solving the equation.
So, the equation is f of x equals 2 sine x squared minus 1 on the interval 0 to 2 pi over 3. By definition, if a function f of x is continuous on the closed interval a to b and differentiable on the open interval a to b, then there exists a point C in a to b such that f prime of c equals f of b minus f of a over b minus a. First, I'm going to graph the function, and by looking at the graph, I can indicate that the function is continuous on the closed interval 0 to 2 pi over 3 and differentiable on the open interval 0 to 2 pi over 3. I can then calculate that f of a equals negative 1.683 and f of b equals negative 0.485. Therefore, f prime of c equals negative 0.485 minus a negative 1.683 over 2 pi over 3, which then equals 0.572. Now, in order to find point C, my baby duck's location, I can plug in C for x in the equation f of x equals 2 sine x squared minus 1, which then would be 2 sine c squared minus 1. Then I must put the derivative of the equation equal to 0.572. Since f prime of c equals 4c cosine of c squared minus 1, then point C on the open interval 0 to 2 pi over 3 must be equal to 0.243 and 1.575. But by looking at the graph, I know my baby duck would be very tired going up the hill and he would stop at the first point C.
Now that Mama Duck knew the location of her baby, she left to go to the point C equals 0.243 on the hill. When she arrived, she managed to find Baby Duck's personal belongings, including a small piece of paper. But Baby Duck was nowhere to be found. Mama Duck picked up the paper and read,
I took your baby duck and I plan to tickle him to death unless you bring me a ball of pink yarn. Meet me at noon on the maximum point C on the hill with the equation of f of x equals 4x minus tangent pi x between the points negative 1/4 and 1/4. Do not tell anyone and come alone if you love your baby duck. Frat cat.
Okay.
This time, Mama Duck decided to use a different method to find her baby. She remembered from her education that in order to find a maximum point on the hill with the given equation from the closed interval a to b, one could use the Rolle's value theorem only if the conditions are met. So she began calculating.
The equation is f of x equals 4x minus tangent pi x on the closed interval negative 1/4 to 1/4. By definition, if a real value function f of x is continuous on a closed interval a to b and differentiable on the open interval a to b, and f of a equals f of b, then there exists a point C in the open interval a to b such that f prime of c equals 0. First, I must graph the equation. By looking at the graph, I can tell that the function is continuous on the closed interval negative 1/4 to positive 1/4 and differentiable on the open interval negative 1/4 to 1/4. Then I can calculate that f of negative 1/4 is 0 and f of positive 1/4 is 0. Therefore, if f prime of x, 4 minus pi secant squared pi x, is equal to 0, then x on the open interval, negative 1/4 to positive 1/4, must be equal to positive 0.153 and negative 0.153. And since baby duck's location could not be a negative number, then my baby must be held captive at point x equals 0.153 on the hill.
Once she knew the location of her baby, she waddled back to her home to get the pink yarn that she luckily bought that morning at the Duck Goose Mall. The hill wasn't too far, so she managed to get there quickly. She reached the top of the hill and saw her baby duck tied to a sturdy plant, and the cat was tickling him and laughing at his tickling torture. Mama Duck threw the yarn at the cat and screamed,
"Leave my baby duck alone, you fat cat!"
And the yarn hit the cat in the head and the cat fell off the hill. Mama Duck ran to her baby and hugged him and told him how much she loved him. They lived happily ever after.